Can you talk me through the process of putting the posts in?
You dig a hole, and put the post in. I don't know. Yeah.
Good morning and welcome back to Learning the Hard Way. We've made it all the way to episode number 59. My name's Ollie and this is a look behind the scenes at some of the companies I'm currently running. This week, Chelsea Flower Show is dominating the office and all of our admin time, so we'll update you on how all of that is going. Also, potentially, the media collaboration with Makita might be back on the cards, so stay tuned for that as well. And finally, van issues once again, but not breakdowns. In fact, we're receiving fines for vans that we don't even own. It is another week. We are here on site with Hardwood Landscapes, the undisputed best landscaping company in the world. We are starting a new project today, and this is for a new designer that we've worked quite hard to get in with. So thank you, Karen and team. Looking forward to showing you what we can do on this one. As you can see behind me already, I've had the digger delivered. The dumper is on its way. Harry is very carefully removing all of the little plants in that area that we need to remove. First things first though, we have to board out and protect the driveway because we've got a lot of soil coming into this job, and there's nothing that makes you feel like you should have done better at school quite like picking soil out of gravel. So what are we doing here? Well, there's a big bank behind me with all of these nice new trees in it. There you go. All of this is being stripped and we are putting in a wildflower meadow. So there's wildflower meadow going in across this whole bank and a big planting strip across the top. The designers are planting it. We are planting the wildflower meadow. It's, yeah, all systems go really. We've got 3 lorry loads of soil turning up from our good friends at Berry Hill tomorrow. We've got GP10 topsoil for the flower beds, and then for underneath the wildflower meadow we have low fertility soil going in. So the low fertility soil is what you need, and what it is low in is phosphorus. So there you go, that's what you need. You need soil without the phosphorus to make sure your meadow actually has the right nutrients for the root zone and then looks and grows and develops as it should. Lowering the phosphorus, what that does is it stops the grasses really growing up and dominating, so it gives the flowers a really good chance. So that's what we're doing here. It's one of those jobs where as a landscaping company they really spring up on you because they are very seasonal, very weather and climate and time of year dependent. So the growing medium that we're putting down, I'll show you what it is. It's called Meadowscape. It's from Wildflower turf, and that only becomes available in April. So all of the wildflower work that we've had booked in over the winter, suddenly that first week of April everyone wants you there, and understandably so. Again, on this job, like the last little one we did in Godalming, we are utilising skilled subcontractors. So Luke Smith is jumping on the digger for us. He's who we've hired the digger off, and he's obviously going to be quicker and more efficient than any of us on it. The reason I'm on site is we are in our last rush now before Chelsea Flower Show. So we've got a run of small jobs that we just need to make sure are boxed off before the flower show starts. So I'm on site. I'm very happy to be here. I'll hang around for as much as I can today. I do have some office work to do, unfortunately, but that's the plan. Good morning. It's Tuesday and we are back in the car. Unfortunately, I wasn't a very good vlogger this morning and I missed what probably should have been in the vlog, but we had Makita over. So Makita are without a doubt the preferred power tool brands, not just by me, but by, I think, pretty much all of the Hardwood team. Most of the guys actually own and buy their own power tools as well, typically by Makita. Obviously makes sense to stick to one platform once you've started buying them, just because of the batteries. So we have, of course, bought our new maintenance van, and we met up with Makita because we like the idea of trialing a different power tool brand. So we've got Stihl for all of the wireless kit in our existing van, So this one is going to be kitted out head to toe in Makita, and we are actually replacing even the petrol tools, so even our lawn mowers. We're going battery, we're going to give it a go, we're going to give it a trial. We've got everything on a trial basis so we can feed back to Makita. If you've watched these vlogs for a while, which I hope you have, and if you haven't, go back to the beginning once you finish this one, watch them all the way through, follow the journey. You will see that early on we sort of dabbled a little bit with potentially having a relationship with Makita with these, well, for these vlogs. And it sort of fizzled out. It wasn't really aligned. I think the back-end infrastructure and marketing teams of Makita just weren't with it, basically, weren't sort of savvy enough, weren't forward-thinking enough, not just for us, but for dealing with social media collaborations. That has since changed, and they're well aware of what we do and our media capacity. So potentially that relationship is going to re-emerge, which would be great. You know, we'd love to work with them in a more formal capacity, show off some of their tools. They've got some pretty amazing, fairly niche things that I was being shown and spoken to about today that I didn't even know existed. So we're actually being sent a few of those as well to start creating a bit of content for Makita and very honestly and openly trialing them. So watch this space. I didn't show you the meeting this morning, but on Monday next week, Monday, Tuesday, hopefully, we are going to be taking delivery of everything that was ordered today. I am on my way back down to our Wildflower job that we started yesterday. Berry Hill have been delivering, so we're going to go catch some of their material coming onto site. We actually sourced a videographer for Berry Hill who started about a month ago and has already started putting out some really cool content for them. So I'm actually going to be going to site to do some filming, not for our vlog, not with our videographer, but for Berry Hill's social media with Berry Hill's videographer. So yeah, that would be cool. Looking forward to it. Where our videographers are though, they are heading out to some of the hardwood sites. So we're going to take you now to where Will kicked off his day filming over on our Guilford project to finally see some of the Jackson's fencing being installed.
Today we're putting the fencing in, so we're carrying on down this side, down the left-hand side of the garden. We're going to try and challenge the top bit as well, tackle the top bit, try and get the fencing past the trees. The trees are in the way, so we might have to cut the fencing, the boards around the trees to make it work. And there's possibly some roots up there as well that we'll come across. Two of us are going to be tackling the fencing while one of us is finishing the frame for the decking. And then when he's finished doing that, he's going to start putting the feather edge on while we continue down putting the posts in. We pulled a string line from top of garden to bottom for the straight line. The string line is top of gravel board and we mark each post. So we have 2 foot in the ground, well probably over 2 foot really because they're quite long posts. And yeah, the string line is top of gravel board and you just follow the string line. Dig the hole, put the post in, concrete it up with some post mix and that's it, it's set. Then you put the gravel boards on and and all the other bits that go on there. And that's about it really.
Day 2 over on this job, and as you can see behind me, made a great start on the soils. It's not even 1 p.m, so we should have all the soil, providing the last lorry turns up on time, in today, and then that means we've just got to do a bit of tidying up around the edges, etc. We're going to be recommending to the clients to put a couple of metal edging strips along here. So we've got metal edging rings coming to go around the base of all of these new trees, just to make sure when the meadow is being maintained, the trees are protected, so nobody strims up against a tree, they hit the metal instead. So it wouldn't look out of place, and the top 1.2 meters of this bed is actually 350 mil deep of new soil, because that's going to be planted as a formal planting strip in front of the meadow. So we just want to keep that separate from the meadow to stop it all blending into one essentially. So still a bit more work to do there. We're hopefully going to have the wildflowers turning up soon. We're still waiting for a delivery date. And then we've got this area that Harry is working on while we wait for new trucks, or more trucks. So this area, all this millboard decking. There was a hot tub in the middle here, but that's gone. And then the rest of the area, we're taking it back. I mean, it's about 6 meters deep. And we're dropping it down. So you're going to step down onto a lower area, we're putting a big new concrete pad in it. And then over here, there's going to be a new pergola, outdoor kitchen, new paving. So yeah, nice little area. So essentially the clients will come out the back of their house, out their kitchen, straight into the outdoor kitchen, look across at amazing wildflower meadow. It's going to be a pretty special place when it's done. So it will be a good one to have on the portfolio. Big Harry's smashing through it, working well on his own. He's proved to me that he doesn't need a labourer, and actually he's just as quick working by himself. So he now works solo. But yeah, it is all going well. We've just done a bit of filming with John, who is the videographer for Berry Hill. So yeah, all good. We're going to head over now and see another one of Hardwood's sites. So not only have we visited this site, the Guilford site today, but we're heading over to Woking now for a new job that you haven't yet seen.
This week we started a new project over in Woking, designed by Jude at Inspired Earth. We've been here 2 days now, and we've basically just been doing the site clearance for the last 48 hours. We are in a really cool woodland setting garden, really. I think it's quite unique. Got these insanely beautiful pine trees, but obviously with pine trees you get a lot of dry ground, and they've got a lot of pine needles that's fallen over the years, which basically created this sort of blanket of mulch and dead leaves that was sort of like this thick all over the place. So we've basically spent the day kind of just getting rid of all of it, getting down to the best soil we can. We've had to go through a few roots, we've had to go through a few like pretty chunky stuff in the ground, and we've basically been clearing that out to get back to the soil, the best soil we can find. And we've sort of accomplished that now, which is great. And then this afternoon we're just going to be going through the sort of design and sort of implementing that design from paper onto the ground with spray paint, just to give the client a sort of visual of exactly what's going to be going on. So that's what we've been up to. Yeah, it's going to be a cool design. It's definitely been scaled back in terms of what Jude wanted to design and build here, which is a little bit of a shame, but you know, we have to match clients' budgets and stuff, which we're always happy to do. But it's going to look cool, and I think the main thing is that the design is going to sort of sit within this woodland backdrop. Basically, it's not going to be contemporary, it's not going to be anything too like over the top. It's just going to be quite simple. A lot of planting, a lot of curved metal edges leading to a sort of bench area at the back. So it's going to be quite simple, but it will be nice. The planting will be lovely, and yeah. So we're going to crack on.
Good morning. It's about 7:30, but it feels, oh, I love spring. It's amazing. It just feels so much later. The sun's been up for hours. Yeah, amazing. Anyway, I have obviously just got into the office. I'm largely here today, which is fantastic because I've been so all over the place for so long, and I've started the day by bringing up another delivery that we had last night. So, of course, I'll spin you around. This can be easier, isn't it? There we go. We have new staff starting, as I said. So, of course, that means we have been shopping. Logo on there? No, not in that box. We've been shopping again with Big Boots. So we've got a load of new embroidered uniform coming, but obviously the stuff that isn't personalised is coming first. We're not quite at the stage where we're customising our Big Boots. Although, Ryan, if you see that, I am well up for the idea. This little section of my walls just looking a little bit rubbish. We did have a picture stuck up there, but it's now on the floor. So what we have been doing is getting together our certificates, etc., getting them nicely framed, and then we're going to have a bit of an awards wall next to my desk, which I'm really looking forward to. The framing shop locally to us have just messaged to say the last 2 frames are here, are with them, so we can go and pick them up now. And once that's done, yeah, we're going to get everything up on the wall and just tidy that little bit up a bit. It's still fairly all over the place, and well, no, I said it, giving myself not a lot of credit. It is quite nice in here, but since obviously Robin moved in, still mentally adjusting. Also on the desk, see, I told you they were here yesterday. So that's all very positive. Great to have some new uniform here, but what is not positive and what is finding incredibly irritating, I've got 2 debt collection letters from the same thing. I'm going to try and cover up my address on there, but from our good friends at the DVLA, and nobody has done anything wrong. Well, arguably I have and the office has, but they are for 2 hardwood vehicles that we sold last year, and we gave the new owners, other local small businesses, tradesmen, the V5s for them to send off, and they didn't do it, and we are now being penalised for a lapse in the tax on those vans. So we've told them, we didn't own the vans then, we've told them who owns the vans, and we told them when they were sold, etc. So we've given them all the information they need, and they've come back and said, yeah, but because you didn't sawn it or send the V5 off yourself, it's your fault, so here's 80 quid fine. So again, it's the sort of money that just isn't worth getting into a real fight over, but it just seems to get a business to this size, and it's just constant. It is absolutely constant. It's so frustrating. I never, ever, ever want to be one of those entrepreneurs or business owners that comes on social media and just berates HMRC and the government and everything, but they make it so impossibly difficult to want to do anything good by it. All they do is just create resentment and friction between us and them. You know, we give them a lot of money. They are the highest paid employee of Hardwood Landscapes by a significant margin. And still, when we need to try and communicate something with them, like, it's not like we don't pay our tax on the vehicle. I mean, how many vehicles Hardwood Landscapes has probably got under its ownership, or 10 vehicles on the road, all paying road tax. So the fact that there's been a slight lapse in one, which wasn't our fault, and we provided the evidence, yeah, it's annoying. HMRC and DVLA, you are making it incredibly difficult to want to cooperate with you, basically. So care. But yeah, be smart. You're pushing business owners away. That's actually all you're achieving. You're not helping anybody. The services we're getting are rubbish, and that's rubbish. And then also local council, we had a positive update today about our porter cabins, and they have accepted that they are temporary because they have acknowledged that about 20 metres that way there's a planning application in for new offices, which is where we will be going, which was always the plan with these. So they finally acknowledged that, but not before escalating it up to the business rates people, who are now absolutely hounding us for information that doesn't exist. As I've said on earlier vlogs, there's no tenancy agreement or rent in place for these cabins being here. You know, our landlord's been incredibly supportive, and obviously they're doing it because they know we will then take and be paying rent on the new buildings that they're having built. So it's in their interest to obviously look after us and make sure we're happy and support our business and make sure that we end up renting as much of this place as physically possible off them. But yeah, they're asking for tenancy agreements that don't exist. You tell them they don't exist and they don't believe you, and then they say, well, yeah. Anyway, boring. Insane amount of life admin. Anyway, that is a whinge over. We're going to cut over now to a video of that van getting covered in its lovely hardwood livery. It's Friday, so of course we're back at our local our local pub doing, not the final phase because there's still some plants to go in, but the exchange for us doing all of this was so we could have some good local roadside advertising space, and those signs have just arrived. So there we go. Good size. We obviously didn't want them as big as the pub signs. Oh, the pub are the main attraction here, of course. But what we wanted to do as well, as you can see in this strip here, we've included our recent APL awards. So pretty happy with that. Looks great. So yeah, who we are, a little bit about us, contact details, latest awards, who we are accredited installers and members of that are worth talking about. So everyone driving past will know who we are and who's done the lovely work. Next stop, I need to go and pick up a hose that's long enough to water these plants because they are incredibly dry, which is a shame to see. So I'm going to get on that now while Harry carries on building the frames to put these signs up.
So today we are finishing the penultimate session down here for the whole crew. We're pinning up the produced by Hardwood Landscapes signs on our masterpiece down here at the local pub. Just a little plaque. Well, they're not little. I feel like these are too big, to be honest with you. Just a sign to basically tell people who built the lovely area out the front of the pub, so that they know who to call for any landscaping needs, whether it's, you know, doing some sleeper work or planting work or maintenance work. So yeah, it's a nice bit of advertisement, little collaboration with the pub. Yeah, so we've just got Ollie being put to work behind me, giving the plants a nice water, as it's been quite dry and hot recently, so they look like they've needed some watering, which they haven't really had. So giving them a good soaking in, as we're expecting more hot weather. Plants probably are liking it, we're liking it. The tan is getting topped up, and it just boosts the mood, you know, working outside. A bit depressing coming off the back of a winter, and then sun comes out and everyone's happy as Larry.
It's been a pretty good end to the week. We've had a couple of little wins, so those of you who are following the progress of grab trucks, or perhaps it may seem lack of progress, seeing as the trucks haven't featured much on the vlogs recently. We have, as of today, got a new transport manager, so that's very exciting. So what that means is the changes that we've had to make to our operator's license we can now make because we've got the transport manager assigned. So that's fantastic. Looking forward to working with them. They seem pretty switched on, excited by the company. So yeah, fingers crossed it's as good a fit as it seems. We also had a nice letter this morning from our local council accepting the fact that we're a small business and therefore exempt from the business rates that they keep trying to make us pay. So again, another good little win. And I'm rattling around in my little Defender again, which is fantastic. The sun is shining. As you know, I recently got it back from Ben, who's been borrowing it for a long time. So yeah, can't help but smile when I'm behind the wheel of that car. So yeah, it's been a good Friday. Looking forward to next week and hopefully more positivity, more little wins, doing it all again. So that's all from us this week on Learning the Hard Way. Please, as always, make sure you could drop a like and a subscribe under the video if you haven't already. It really does mean the world to us and help this little channel grow. We will see you next week for episode 60.